Hey everyone, I hope you all had a good holiday season, a Merry Christmas, and whatever you have planned for New Year's, I hope that goes swimmingly for everyone. I hope that the Bills and Patriots didn't ruin your Christmas. I don't really see how it could have. Last year I was very upset with the way it went, obviously with the whole, say what you want about Kelvin Benjamin now, but the whole Kelvin Benjamin touchdown that was overturned. The Bills were in the game in the first half, and then, obviously it spiraled out of control from there. They ended up making the playoffs, but it was Christmas Eve, and I was just such a bad taste in my mouth. This year, December 23rd at New England, the Bills are 5-9 going into the game. The Patriots are on a 2-game losing streak, and death taxes Patriots over Bills, maybe. I hate to say things like that, but it just kind of happens that way. Or maybe death taxes and Bill Belichick making a rookie quarterback look foolish at times. It certainly wasn't pretty. The Bills obviously lost to the Patriots 24-12 on Sunday, a game that it felt just like the Packers game. Like, the scoreboard said they were in it, but it just didn't really feel like they were in it. The offense just wasn't moving effectively. Josh Allen wasn't very effective. The defense was getting trampled on the ground, and it's weird how that's kind of happened. Like 3 times this year that's happened. The Patriots this past week, the Jaguars did it, but the Bills ended up getting out of there with a W, and Marlon Mack for the Colts just ran train over those guys. But it's just, I don't know, it's just kind of weird how that, I don't know, it's like Marlon Mack did it in week 7, and it really hadn't happened up to that point, and then a month later it happens against the Jaguars, and then another month later it happens against the Patriots. I don't really know how that's just football maybe. I do think the absence of Matt Milano had something to do with it this past Sunday. It didn't really look like the Bills had an answer for Sony Michel and Corey Thompson. I appreciate the effort and whatnot. I don't think he's up to the same caliber of player that Matt Milano is. Proven, yeah, I guess sort of proven to be up to this point in his career. Only his second year. I'm very optimistic about him moving forward. And obviously Tremaine Edmonds and maybe even Lorenzo Alexander. Doesn't seem like his play has dropped off too much. He had an interception, undercut a Brady throw on Sunday, and that was part of the reason the Bills were in it, is just Tom Brady. What? The guy wasn't good. I mean, the Patriots ended up, if you include sacks, 117 passing yards. He threw a couple of picks. Gronkowski had no receptions. The Brady touchdown to Edelman was relatively lucky. Was it on 4th down? I believe it was on 4th down. And then he hits a slant. That's not a difficult throw to make. Granted, he has to identify it and whatnot. And then the Bills have it not stopped, but they have it tackled at the 20 and let it go, and whatever. That's inexcusable to me, but it happened. It doesn't make Tom Brady's game any more impressive. I mean, it's another touchdown pass on his, long list of career accomplishments, but I don't know. We talked about it last week. Is it finally happening to New England? I don't know. It might be. It kind of looked that way. If the Bills are a better team, or if Josh Allen is not a rookie making pretty bad decisions, the Bills, does a better team beat New England on Sunday, on that day? Maybe. It's tough to say. I guess we'll have to find out come playoff time, because right now, as I alluded to last week, the Patriots just look like a regular playoff team. Not even really. They just look like the Titans or something. Just a regular team. You're not a premier team in the league. You're just a team. You're not. Nobody buys you as a Super Bowl contender, but obviously people do, because the Patriots are the Patriots. Because they have Tom Brady, because of their past success. This is people buying into it. But you watch them and it's this is just a regular team. they're not bad, but they're certainly not world beaters by any means. You watch like the Saints and you're like, holy moly. Anyway, going back to the Bills, the Patriots did a tremendous job against Josh Allen. Josh had his worst game since the Packers game, I thought. It was just, I don't want to say he looked like the deer in headlights or anything like that. It was just footwork was bad, the accuracy was thus bad, and the receivers didn't help him any. There were tons of plays left out on the field. Logan Thomas left one out there. Robert Foster lost one in the sun. Isaiah McKenzie had a drop, but like additionally, Josh overthrew McKenzie on like a play in the flat that he's open. Like there's nobody within 5 yards of him, and he just sails it over his head. The interception that he tried to touch over, I don't remember who it was to, and the safety just kind of waited, played center field, kind of corned it, waited for it to come into his lap. Like that's inexcusable interception. And I've spoken earlier in the year about how I didn't think all of the bad days were behind Josh Allen, and clearly that they are not. I'm still optimistic about his future. I guess Sunday I looked at it and I'm like, wow, he needs to learn how to take like the easy yardage. That's what Tom Brady does. Tom Brady's better at it than almost anybody. Like you don't have to. Everyone says he tries to play hero ball, kind of. You don't have to throw it downfield every play. Take some checkdowns. Take somebody in the flat or something. Just to let the defense know that, hey, I'll do this if you let me. That might get a linebacker to creep up in the zone, and somebody, receiver or tight end, gets to slip behind him. Like this, if you don't demonstrate that you're willing to do that, they just won't respect it. And that's how I look at it right now. They don't respect Josh Allen's short game because he is so willing and, well, you know, always looking to throw the ball down the field. He's using all of the field downfield, like 10, 20 yards down there. He's throwing it left, he's throwing it middle, he's throwing it right, but he's not throwing it short. I mean, he has at times. It's just, I think that is the difference. That could be the difference in his game, is if he is just willing to accept the short yardage gains. He doesn't have to get a first down every play. You know, 2nd and 4 is a good play. It opens up the playbook for the running game because I'm sick of running the ball on 2nd and 10. I've talked about that at length. I think statistically you should throw the ball like 80% of the time on 1st and 10. And the Bills have been better about that, but then they followed up like a 2nd and 10 run or whatnot. I mean, if Josh Allen's taking 6-yard swing passes on 1st down, if that's a thing, it's not always there. I know they got a couple screens that got blown up this year, but you know, that 1st down, like the 6-yard gain on 1st down can just be, it's just very conducive to like the flow of an offense. I almost said momentum. I almost said it. But like I would mean it in the sense of like okay, the ball is rolling here, and not in the sense that, oh well, we've gained momentum. I don't need to talk about this again. All right, sorry I brought it up. The flow. Let's go. The flow of the offense. So I look at that and I wonder, like, how will you guys remember this year? You know, is this, you know, sort of like stemming off of Josh Allen's growth, or, you know, maybe taking a step back here or there? Well, how do you remember this year? Like, is it just Josh Allen's rookie year? Is it the Peterman year? I mean, when Josh Allen wasn't in the lineup, the games were borderline. I wouldn't even blame you if you said unwatchable. They were borderline unwatchable. The Baltimore game, the Indy game, the Monday night game, the Bears game. Matt Barkley came in, and that game was a lot of fun, but, I mean, that could be a massive fluke. Glad he's back, though. Josh has credited him with, you know, helping his development, so I'm glad that Matt Barkley's going to be in the fold for the next couple of years. How do you remember it? Maybe it ends up being Kyle Williams last year. So maybe like this is a question that is better served like later on, because you know it's kind of is it forgettable right now? It's just to me, I guess right now to me, it's just Josh Allen's rookie year, and I'm eager. I'm eager to watch him play on Sunday against the Dolphins. Like, I'm sorry, I'm really not previewing the Dolphins game here because neither team really has anything to play for. I think the Bills should beat the Dolphins on Sunday because the Dolphins, I feel like, are reeling a little bit. Like, they just got eliminated from the playoffs. They're going to go 8-8 again or whatever, 7-9, whatever they are. You know, Ryan Tannehill might be on his way out. All the questions in the Miami media are about internal things. There's no way that Miami players want to come to Buffalo the day before New Year's Eve and play a football game. I just think that, like, Josh Allen, the last time that they played Miami, was the best player on the field, hands down, and I think he has a pretty good chance of doing that again. I think the Bills, I'll make the prediction early, I think the Bills beat the Dolphins 23-13. I can't imagine the Dolphins being interested, and I thought the Bills were good against them last time. I think they will be again. 23-13 Bills. But I do want to, as the season's coming to an end here, I'm going to make, my next video will probably be regarding, probably after free agency, before the draft, because the needs will be a little bit more in focus. But I do want to talk a little bit about that right now. With a win on Sunday, the Bills can worsen, I guess, their draft position to as far as 10th, and a loss, they could go as high as 4th, but I think 4th is contingent on the Raiders beating Kansas City in Kansas City, with Kansas City with something to play for, so I don't think that'll happen. So the Bills look like they're going to be in between 5 to 10, depending on what happens on Sunday. And I know there's a lot of people out there that just want to lose and improve the pick and maybe trade down. And I think either way, they're going to be in a pretty good position to pick a really good player, like a tackle, or I'm not ruling them out going defense either. I think that a defensive tackle or a linebacker, like, wouldn't be a terrible idea for this team. I'm in the business of, not me personally, but, like, I want to just acquire good players. I recognize the need at, maybe on the interior D-line and maybe on the exterior, or the right side of the line predominantly. I think you might have a good player in Wyatt Teller. I think Russell Bodine is probably your center next year coming back. But if you're going to replace Jordan Mills and you're going to replace John Miller, I get that. I know that a lot of people want to go receiver or tight end or something, and I could see that happening as well, but I think you could find those players maybe a little bit later in the draft, day 2 or, even day 3. There's definitely room for improvement there, I think. Isaiah McKenzie although he's been good, is replaceable. I think there's a good chance he gets a camp invite, but there's a couple other players out there like him, a ton of other players out there like him. Ray McLeod from last year, it seems like his spot is tenuous at best. The only players really look like are coming back from the receiving core are Zay Jones and Robert Foster. Like, definitely. Deontay Thompson, not necessarily. Like, Demary Scott or whatever, no. Maybe McKenzie is probably here in camp. But, like, the only ones I would guarantee probably are Zay Jones and Robert Foster. And the Bills deserve some credit for finding Robert Foster. Touching back on the McLeod thing, it's kind of weird that, I guess, that they didn't take Equanimeous St. Brown at that point. Maybe that had something to do with St. Brown's attitude and his supposed unwillingness to play special teams and whatnot. It just, I don't know. You miss on a 6th-round pick and nobody really cares. And the Bills have done a decent job hitting on day 3 of the draft with Taron Johnson's and Matt Milano's, Wyatt Teller. So they've done a decent job, and nobody really cares when you miss. And they've got a couple undrafteds, Jason Kroom and Levi Wallace and Robert Foster. So, they deserve some credit there for finding players that look like they'll be able to contribute, not just now, but in the future. So, like I said, I'm the needs obviously are contingent on free agency, and I guess my approach to free agency would be, I think you're more likely to overpay in free agency, period, but it's more likely to blow up in your face if you spend it on a wide receiver than if you spend it on offensive linemen. So I think they'll address offensive line again in free agency, but I wouldn't be surprised to see them bring in a veteran wide receiver as well. Like, there's not a ton of guys out there, and I haven't really scouted offensive line group yet either. But going back to my point, I think you're more likely to get value for your money. Like, you're going to overpay. That's how free agency works. But the Bills have a ton of cap space over the next couple of years. Brandon Beane has really, made the cap situation a whole lot healthier since he's been here. But I think the Bills would be best served to improve their O-line and protect Josh Allen through free agency and get him some weapons in the draft and maybe a veteran presence here or there. But guys, let me know what you're thinking. We can talk about the Patriots game. We can talk about the Dolphins game if you want. Like I said, I'm going to pick the Bills to win 23-13. I appreciate all of you all season. Thank you so much. Really, I can't blame it. 10 years of this. Unbelievable. Hit me up on Twitter. We'll talk sports. We'll talk all off season. My Twitter handle is the same as my YouTube username. Guys, thank you once again. Thank you always. Above all else, as always, go Bills.